Atash Dile and welcome to In Conversation with Tibet TV. This is Sakina Butt. Today I have an extraordinary guest for the show. She's neither a celebrity nor a politician, but her intelligence and sensibility has made her a public figure of great repute among the Tibetan community. While her profession is a dentist at the Delek Hospital, but her role as an activist for the vegan movement has made her the co-founder of the Dharamsala vegan movement. She is Dawa Dolkar. Welcome to the show, Dawala. It's wonderful in every way to have you.
Thank you so much, Sakinala.
So, Dawala, you are a staunch animal rights activist and you are a dentist by profession. So, how did you develop such love towards animals, although your profession doesn't demand that out of you?
Well, I believe professionalism is not just about sticking to one's own profession, but also extending beyond that. And so, in a way, I've always had this sense of community give back, and that's why when my profession life, when it's over, I dedicate my time for the animal rights. And so, also having a pet dog in my life has been a great eye-opening, and through her, I was able to connect to the sufferings of other animals. Because at the end of the day, I think there are no others. We are all same, and we all want love and compassion, and we want to be free from sufferings.
Okay, so what is the single most important factor that motivated you to turn vegan, and how was the experience like?
I've always believed in the values and the honor of compassion. And while growing in the Tibetan society, I have been ever lucky to be spoon-fed and to be instilled with these values. So when I saw there was this dog meat festival in a city called Yulin in China. They are skinned alive or they are boiled in hot water and they're stepped on their head to die. So this footage kind of shook me. Before I was a vegan, I was a dog rescuer. But the most enlightening part about this whole experience was the Chinese butcher looked into the camera and he says, just like you eat cow's meat, chicken's meat, pigs and goats, we also eat dog's meat. So though what he said was something which I have never actually believed or thought about it, but that was truth. So at that time it was a mixed emotion for me, but after there was never stopping back, and it was an onward and a forward moment for me to go vegetarian and then to go vegan after that.
So when did this happen? Like how many years ago?
4 years ago, yeah. Just after the Yulin Dog Meat Festival, just in a couple of weeks, the holy month Dawa started.
Okay.
And so I was very fortunate because I could practice my vegetarianism just on the beginning of Dawa, just like any other Tibetans would. After that, a couple of months, I learned more about dairy and poultry industry and how it is an anti-feminist industry, and so that kind of instilled me and boosted me that I had to go vegan for the values of non-animal humans and to provide long-term love and compassion for the animals.
But Dawa just demands the abolition of meat eating during that month.
Yeah.
But you have stopped everything. You have stopped drinking milk, you have stopped eating eggs. So how did you manage all that?
So it took a lot of time, and so I thought maybe I should try going vegetarian because I was a meat eater my whole life. I had a very open-minded feeling, and I learned more about the animal agriculture and the sufferings that the animal goes through every day.
So it's basically because of the video that you watched about the Yulin festival, and also because of the Dawa that just came after that.
Yeah, it helped me. It helped me a real deal because I don't know if Dawa didn't fall at that time. I don't know whether I would have been,
able to turn
inspired as a Buddhist,
So you don't use all kinds of animal products. You don't even wear anything that is made out of animals. So isn't that a tough life to maintain? Like, how do you balance it all?
So veganism is a philosophy just like Buddhism. So what we do is, as much as we can, applicable and practicable in this life, to abstain from any animal products. When I went vegan, I had challenges, starting from my breakfast to lunch to dinner, and also about wearing clothes and everything. But in a place like Dharamsala, it's mainly do-it-yourself. Like If I want to have a vegan cheese, I can't get it in the market. I have to do it myself. So the switch from animal product to plant-based product is much easier in the Western country.
So tell me something about the Dharamsala vegan movement. Like, what kind of activism do you perform, and then what is the remit of your operations?
Dharamsala vegan movement was actually co-founded by 4 vegans. So 4 of us 2 years ago, we met, and then we realized that all of us had the same interest. Our most popular outreach was screenings. We used to do screenings. So far we have done 20 public screenings, and we have visited 15 to 16 institutions, including the monasteries, nunneries, schools and colleges.
What kind of screening do you do?
Actually, it depends on the person, the crowd that we are visiting.
Okay.
So if it is a school, because they are young kids, I did not want to show them the footages.
Okay.
So I made a special presentation for them. And for the general public, it depends. Like every Wednesday, we would screen some other documentaries. Apart from the screening, sometimes we go out on the street and outside the Dalai Lama temple, and we wear a mask, and then we carry laptops showing footages and inviting people to see certain footages.
Why do you wear masks?
Because when you don't wear mask, first of all, as a person, when you are standing, you carry a certain emotion on your face. Okay. So that is already a distraction for the person. So when we are wearing the mask, as a person standing, it is easy for us to mask our emotion. Also, it does not connect us to the passerby as a person that we know each other, and to be just a medium. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people wear this Vendita mask that is actually the sign of a reformation against the social injustice. Every weekend we would try to do something different from the last outreach. Sometimes set up tables outside the Dalai Lama temple or in the middle of the street, and then we make soy milk chai and cake and then some kind of food and invite people to try that, and then engage in conversation about the cruelty of dairy industry and the health hazard and the environmental angle also. And apart from that, we have also include a lot of monks and nuns in our movement, because for me it was also one as a responsibility as a Tibetan and as a Buddhist to represent Tibetan fighting for animal rights on the global platform.
So normally when do you have all the events?
Yeah, almost every Sunday, because that's how we try to not lose the momentum, and also to come up with different ideas. Like one of the last Sundays we did dog milk experiment. Okay. So we literally had a dog milk label packet, and then we invited people to try dog milk, and they were outraged. They were angry at us, they were yelling at us, screaming at us, and some of them were amused.
Was it really a dog?
It wasn't, it was soy milk.
Okay.
So it was just an experiment to see how people would connect to, drinking dog's milk. And but the message wasn't, to promote dog milk. The message was to ask, why are you okay drinking cow's milk? They are also animals, and the cow they lactate only when they produce a baby, and to produce a baby they have to be impregnated. And artificial insemination is a veterinary treatment or a term that in our layman, if it happens to a woman, we would call it a rape. But this happens to every cow after every 9 months. They are impregnated with male semen by a vet, or sometimes by normal people with no septics, no sterilized materials. So that's how they do it. And also the health aspect of drinking dairy is a big downhill for our health. So we also wanted to address that. And also we wanted to introduce the plant-based milk and how you can procure it like from your own kitchen. It's very easy.
And also the other day when I was walking on the streets in McLeodganj, I saw the walls where you had painted very artistically. So why did you do that? What kind of effect does it have?
Yeah, this was actually called the Wall of Justice. For us, this was to serve as a constant reminder, because sometimes we tend to forget the rights of animals, because for us they are not too important, but for them their life is very important. As a Tibetan and as a Buddhist, it was necessary for me to also highlight the sutras that Lord Buddha had, said about condemning meat eating.
Okay, so can you explain me what are the ethical, environmental or health benefits of being a vegan?
For me, going vegan was all about ethics. I've always stand against discriminations. So speciesism is one concept, is one term that is used right now in animal rights. It's like you're discriminating species from species, mainly involving the exploitation of animals by the human. So when I realized that this is what speciesism is, and this is what me eating meat or drinking cow milk or eating an egg is contributing to speciesism, and I didn't want to be a part of it. So to break that, that's the only way is by going vegan. Well, everybody talks about global warming these days, but people rarely know that 18% of global warming, the contributing causes from animal agriculture.
So and how is that?
When the cow burps or farts, the methane gas is released.
Okay.
And methane gas is the main component of the greenhouse gas emission. To build more cattle industry, to build more poultry industry, they are deforesting, and almost 45% of the land right now is being used for livestock. So science has proved over again and again, depending on a non-vegan diet brings us closer to death and brings us closer to debilitating illness. And now vegans, they have 50% less chances of getting heart diseases. So vegan diets have proved far long the most healthiest diet for human to survive healthy, happily, and sustaining.
So Dawa, recently, I was just going through the Dharamsala vegan movement page on Facebook, and then I saw some images where the members of the vegan movement, they were inside the cage with the dog. So what were you trying to signify through that image?
That was a demo we did for the Yulin Dog Meat Festival. Actually, it was my dog, my pet dog, Libe. So we got her as a representative of the dogs in Yulin, and not just dogs, but also question people like, okay, if you cannot eat dog meat, how can we be okay eating a chicken and a cow or a goat or a pig? Because at the end of the day, they all are animals, they are all children. So to question the social conditioning, to question the mindset of meat eaters, we try to implement different kind of outreaches to connect to them.
So last weekend even I came and I joined the program, and where you were screening the movie Ukja, which was a wonderful movie. Yeah. So initially when I went in, I was very shocked to see that there were very few people. Yeah, but then you guys were very dedicated at that moment, and then the screening started right on time, which was at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And then in the starting of the movie, you explained very nicely about the entire movement and about the reason for showing the video. And also at the end of the movie, when you were addressing your closing note, you started crying, and everybody started crying,
Yeah.
And I felt like the movement is very big, but then the gathering was very small. And then you paid attention to each and every individual that was present there. That was a very nice thing that I've noticed. So turning a vegetarian is tough,
Yeah.
Dawala, you know that, and turning a vegan is much tougher. So what do you have to say to the individuals who are aspiring to do so but have failed in their attempts?
Well, thank you actually for coming for the screening, and we were very humbled that you came, and it felt complete to have you. Even if we have just one person, we always continue with our screening, because I believe each of us are the seed of compassion. So that's how the movement grows. It looks so normal to eat meat. It looks so natural to drink cow's milk, and it always feels so necessary to eat eggs every morning breakfast. So if you really want to quit meat, first of all, you need to confront the truth about animal agriculture, about how your food comes, what process and what procedure the animal goes through from the day one, from breeding to being slaughtered. But apart from that, if you want to live a healthier and sustainable planet for the future generation, and the easiest step is to go vegan.
So Dawala, is there anything you want to say at the end?
Well, I have to say thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I feel very humbled and grateful, and knowing that Matthew Ricard was also interviewed by you in Tibet TV. He's my teacher, And
Is he a vegan too?
yeah, he's a vegan, and he has been a very strong voice for the voiceless in the Tibetan, sorry, in the Buddhism Sangha. So my last message would be, please consider going vegetarian if you are not. And if you are vegetarian, consider going vegan, and it's a blessing. It's totally a beneficial lifestyle for our health and for us as a human being, and for us to give back to the community and to world peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dawala. I had a very good time during this conversation with you, and thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching, and see you in our very next episode of In Conversation with Tibet TV.